Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Special Report. This is your host, Dr. Yavuz Selim Silay, physician, entrepreneur, and venture architect. Today, I'm hosting another wonderful role model, Özgür with us. Özgür Salur is actually a music therapist, and we'll talk about the healing properties and healing effect of music, and also talk about his amazing success story. Özgür, welcome to Special Report. How are you today?
Hello. I'm fine, thank you. I hope you're fine as well.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate in your busy schedule you had the chance to provide your valuable time. Can you tell a little bit about who Özgür Salur is and what motivates Özgür?
Mhm. Well, I usually describe myself as a music person. I have been always into music, and music has been a big part of, maybe huge part of my life. That's a big chunk of my life, what I identify myself with. And also mindfulness. Mindfulness is also very important for me, both teaching and learning mindfulness. And motivation, when it comes to what motivates me, well, I try actively to be a nice person, to be a decent person, hurt as little as possible other people and nature, and other living and non-living beings. That does motivate me a lot.
You have an amazing, success story and accolades of really professional training. Can you tell a little bit about your, journey to music therapy, starting from your very beginning at Marmara University, and also what you have done and how you actually turn into music therapy with your, work at Boston and Finland, as well as your recent mindfulness-based cognitive therapy teacher training at Oxford University?
Sure. Long story. Yeah. I've started music at the conservatory in Istanbul, Turkey, when I was 6 years old. So it was deep. Music is deeply rooted in me, I'd say. And then I studied music in Boston at Berklee College of Music, and I became a composer. And after that, I worked as a composer for a while. For around 10 years, I composed mainly for commercial music. And after that, there was a point, at that time I was receiving verbal psychotherapy, and I was enjoying it a lot. I benefited a lot from it. And at that time, I was back in Turkey, and decided maybe to look for opportunities to maybe go back to the States or maybe to Europe. And that's when I came across music therapy. I knew that such a thing existed. When I was at college, there were people in my friends studying music therapy at the same place, but maybe the time hasn't come yet for me to be interested in music therapy back then. But after 10 years, I got interested in music therapy, and I looked for opportunities. That time was tough. That time was difficult because I had to stop whatever I was doing, which was composing.
Sure.
And for 2 years or more, I had to go abroad and study something. And that needs a lot of things. And I found such an opportunity in Finland, University of Jyväskylä, one of the important universities for music therapy. And there I studied music therapy. I studied a master's of music therapy over there. And in 2016, I came back to Turkey.
Awesome.
And my journey with music therapy and sharing music therapy has started then. There was a big interest in music therapy, starting actually while I was in Finland. When I was over there, I received emails from people that I don't know, asking about music therapy and how to study music therapy, where to study music therapy, what music therapy is. and I started making presentations while I was studying in Finland when I came back to Turkey for breaks and stuff, you know.
Yes.
And afterwards, that became a big part of my life. Sharing music therapy, what music therapy is, and other knowledge that I gained over there, and that I'm still trying to learn. Sharing those, that was a big thing for me, because before that I was a composer. That's a very different life from presenting something. When you're composing, you're in a room, usually by yourself, and doing some creative work. But when you're presenting something, then it's a different game. There are hundreds of people listening to you, watching you, and that's a different game. And I liked it. And around the same time, when I was in Finland, I started mindfulness practices. I got introduced to mindfulness, so meditations, which is mindfulness, I would say, is a way of living life a bit more aware and a bit more kinder in many ways. So my practices started over there, and I benefited a lot from that as well. I suggested these practices to my colleagues, to my classmates over there, who were also studying to become a music therapist, and they benefited as well. So that gave me a lot of courage and a lot of motivation to study mindfulness as well. And that's how my my journey with Oxford University has started. Then I tried several times, and I guess that's a big when now I realize while I'm talking to you, trying a lot for things I care. That was a big theme in my life. So I applied to become a student, to become a trainer in mindfulness-based cognitive therapy to Oxford University's Mindfulness Center. And it didn't go well at first time. So then I tried the next year, and then it has worked.
Never give up, basically. You never give up.
Well, yeah, I mean, keep on going, I would say.
Exactly. Consistency.
Yeah, consistency. And also in a kind way, though. I mean, anything we do, if we're not kind to ourselves, I believe it wouldn't help much. Whatever we do, it wouldn't bring peace of mind. It wouldn't bring an ease if we're not kind towards ourselves or to others. So keep on doing it, keep on trying it, while being kind, while not being hurtful to yourself and others. So that's how I journey with my Oxford University Mindfulness Center has started, and I am about to become a teacher in that. I'm at the end of my studies has completed, and now I'm teaching under supervision. So that's my journey in a couple of minutes, I guess.
That's amazing. Thank you for summing it up so beautifully, Özgür. In terms of, we know the healing properties of music, and it's been used for centuries. And however, music therapy is also a new field, especially, in developing countries. It's more, I think, popular and being used more in Europe and United States. And we hosted Burçin here as well before. So there is a momentum in Turkey, even though historically, even in Ottoman Empire and other areas, it has been used for psychiatry and other areas of treatment. Unfortunately, I think there is much more work needs to be done scientifically, as well as in terms of the treating properties and bringing the right musicians with the right areas of medical background, and combining this takes some time. But I want you to explain for our viewers, the development of music therapy. What is your vision in terms of how people at their home can actually, practically speaking, utilize music therapy for themselves, and what are the benefits?
Sure. Well, music, as you said, have been used as a tool for even millennia and all over the world. For thousands of years, we have so much evidence that shows that music has been used for people's health. In every continent, we have foundings. In Africa, we do have. In Asia, in Europe, in America, the continent, we have findings that shows that music has been used. And for this last century, music therapy started as a discipline with that knowledge that has been accumulated so far. And music therapy became a profession. And as you said, it is pretty popular in especially Western world at the moment as a profession.
Yes.
And in other parts of the world, it is still emerging as a profession, but in any ways, like even if it's not a profession, even if we're not talking about music therapy specifically, music is still being used in health by doctors, by nurses, by psychologists, by healers, according to wherever you are in the world. There are many uses of music still today. And yes, we do need evidence to have something work in the current health system. And that is growing. That is big in the world. We have a lot of evidence. There have been Cochrane reviews, which are shaping the world's health system. And we saw the benefits of musical interventions and music therapy in these reviews as well. So there are several countries like UK, like Norway, that the treatment, that the suggested treatment became music therapy, such as early psychosis, such as substance abuse. And we also have Cochrane reviews about dementia, about autism, schizophrenia, depression, cancer, and people, teenagers, children. So we have a lot of evidence. But as I said, music therapy is the profession, the professional part of using music in health. But music is therapeutic anyways. It doesn't have to be music therapy to benefit from music. So we can, and we probably do benefit from music in our lives when we are maybe watching a video, music video, or a music TV show, or when we're listening to music, or when we're dancing. That's a very popular way we use music in our culture, in Turkish culture as well. In weddings, during weddings, people dance a lot. And I read that in African culture as well, dance is so much implemented in music that even some languages in Africa don't have separate words for dance and music. They use the same word for dance and music. So it's that implemented. And that's a way that we might already are using music in our current life for our well-being. And another thing is that maybe using music as a planned thing. So we might shape our day with using music. We might maybe listen to music when we wake up for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or we can do the same while we are going to sleep. Before sleep, we can have some time, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe half an hour, to use, to listen to music. Whatever kind we want, whatever touches us, whatever makes us feel something that we might need at this moment. Sometimes we need to relax. Sometimes we need to be activated. So we can go through our music list, maybe, if we're using a cell phone or whatever device we can use. We can go through our the list of music that we often listen to and pick ones. This is relaxing for me. This is activating for me, energizing. And then we can have playlists. Amazing. And then we can use these, like when I wake up, I might use the energizing one if I feel the need. And before I go to sleep, I might use the relaxing one.
That's amazing.
So that's a very simple way of doing it.
I think you really hit the nail on the head, Özgür. So you can actually self-prescribe in a way, because you know yourself the best. And if you have that mindfulness and self-awareness, you'll be able to utilize it. But like in a medication, what if you overdose? What if you use the soothing bar too much, or the one which is energizing you too much? Do you know, are there any studies about the side effects of music therapy as well? Just being the devil's advocate here.
Well, music therapy has been known as one of the interventions that has almost no side effects. But I'm talking about music therapy as a profession, because music therapists have been educated for this, have been trained for this. We look out for what might go to the direction that we don't want, and we might intervene there. We might go there. That's in the case of music therapy and music therapists. So that's why there hasn't been any side effects shown in evidence so far. But we know that musical interventions done by not music therapists can unfortunately cause some harm. That they can trigger maybe some psychosis, so some distortion about the reality perception. If you ask someone, some people do that, unfortunately. They have people lay down and then close their eyes and have them listen to some music. That is very powerful. Music is a very, very powerful tool, as I tried to explain. That's why it's being used all around the world. So something that can be that powerful can harm as well. And in that situation, it can trigger old trauma. It can trigger distortions about reality perception. And maybe it can, if it's a person with a tendency to commit suicide, it can even cause that. So someone who is not trained to be a music therapist should be very careful. And if that person is not a health personnel, maybe not use music.
I see.
But saying all these, using music at home for our own well-being, I wouldn't say there can be any harm. But again, I mean, in life, everything happens. If we see some tendency in ourselves to, as I said, maybe commit suicide or distortions about reality, then we should go to a traditional doctor or whoever is responsible for health officially in wherever we live. But that's a very, very low risk, I would say.
I see. And I think, as far as I read, music therapy can start even at the mother's womb to the baby, right?
Yeah.
To soothe, and both the mom and the baby to increase lactation. And there are many areas that is definitely impacting the physiology positively. So I'm so excited that we have amazing trained music therapists like yourself who are actually providing this very important science to the right patients with the right way of thinking. So kudos to your hard work and training, Özgür. What do you see in terms of the future of music therapy? Can you tell, as the world is evolving with COVID-19, people are locked down, many people are lonelier and actually have a different reality than before. Do you see any change in the implications or utilization of music therapy moving forward?
Well, I'm smiling because today, just a couple hours ago, I read a new study about exactly this, how music therapists have been evolving the practice after COVID-19. It has been released just a couple of days ago, and I just read it today.
Awesome.
So music therapy, because it's not a very I don't know how to describe that. It's a very
would you say it's not structured? It's not structured, or it's
it is
more
structured, but it is very flexible.
Flexible as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So improvisation is a big part of music therapy. So music therapists are trained to improvise and use the difficulties in the work itself.
I see.
So this COVID situation, of course, has affected all our practices. It has changed a lot. A lot online work has started, which was accepted as impossible beforehand. But challenges kind of helped the practice to grow. And music therapists tried new things. And I also read in that same study that benefits are more than the difficulties and the losses in the practice, which is very promising for me. And it also shows, again, the future of music therapy is quite bright because we have all these practitioners, these flexible practitioners who are open to adapt to whatever situation. And that's very related to what you just said about in what clinical applications music therapy has been used. Like it starts with the baby in the mother's womb. It starts with that relationship, and then music therapists work with little babies, premature born babies, then with children, then with adolescents, then with younger people, adults with many diagnoses, around 46 client group have been reported as as clinical groups that music therapists are working with, and then with elderly, and even at the end of life care. So music therapy has that flexibility that a trained professional can use it in many clinical settings with many different clinical groups. And now we see under this COVID situation that under many difficulties as well.
That's amazing. So it's important to see, the effect of sound and music is not just physical, but also spiritual. It's also emotional. Like you mentioned, Tourette, schizophrenia was one of your trainings I have read on your amazing CV, and also other areas that you mentioned in neurology that has been, really widely used. So I want to really appreciate for your amazing, explanations for our viewers, because we have 900 million viewers across 42 countries, Özgür, watching you now. And, as NTR TV, we're trying to really bridge amazing people like yourself as the only satellite Turkish TV broadcasting in English and French from Ankara studios, where you are right now in another city in Turkey, and, through our satellites in France, connecting to Africa. What do you think about, NTR TV's work in really trying to build bridge between Africa, Turkey, and the rest of the world?
Well, I think this is something very important for the world at the moment, to have more communication between us, and it's in a way the only way to go with technology growing so fast. And even with this COVID, right? Many
Yes,
things have been shifted to online, and things that we thought priorly to be impossible, now we think they are possible, and we see that they work. So, a lot of teaching, a lot of health work is possible with this,
absolutely.
and also in this situation in the world, uh, people of the whole world will become together. I think it's the only way.
I agree.
I think it's very important. I had student friends from some countries in Africa, such as Kenya, such as South Africa. By the way, there's a in South Africa, in Pretoria, there is a university which people can get music therapy training from. That's a great place. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there because of COVID. Like
Maybe
you,
we'll go there together next time because they are now watching from South Africa as well.
that would be
That's
great.
one of our areas of broadcasting, even areas where there is no internet, Özgür. There are areas in rural areas, no internet. We are able to reach them only through the satellite. So your
That's great.
message is extremely important to South
That's great.
Africa as well.
That's great. So, um, hi to my South African friends and everyone there, and Kenya, Botswana. I've had friends, Nigeria. I've had
Awesome.
friends from. I think it's a great thing you do, connecting these people and all of us.
Thank you. Thank you for your leadership, Özgür. So, if you don't mind, I want to get your final words for our 900 million viewers. What are your final messages for those who wants to reach out to Özgür? How can they cooperate with you? And how can they utilize music therapy more? Let's get your final messages, dear Özgür, for our viewers.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think at this age, it's very easy to find someone. You can just type my name and reach me. That's the easier part. I think getting together, knowing each other's cultures, even in the same country and in different countries and in different continents, is so important at this moment. And that's my final words. Let's get together, either on the screen or getting together in person, sharing our cultures, sharing our music, sharing our words, sharing our common humanity.
Many thanks, Özgür. Özgür Salur gave an amazing message of peace, tranquility, and communication with integrity through music therapy today, ladies and gentlemen. I was really honored to host a wonderful gentleman who is actually healing using the music therapy and really training himself at every level, from United States to Finland to United Kingdom, and building himself and serving people also in Turkey and as well as globally. So definitely reach out to Özgür Salur and also continue to follow Special Report. We'll be back again with you. This is your host, Dr. Yavuz Selim Sılay, physician, entrepreneur, and venture architect. Take care and all the best. Bye.